Hey everyone, today we are fixing up my 1963 Fashion Queen Barbie. Now, luckily, the doll herself is not in too bad of condition. Her wigs, however, definitely need some help. But we'll start with the doll first, so let's just jump right into it. Here she is, so right away we can see that her face doesn't look too bad. She just needs maybe a little paint touch-ups. Her hair definitely needs a paint touch-up. Her sculpted hair, that is, of course. Otherwise, her body looks fine. You can see I put her in this 1963 busy morning dress, which is the same as the suburban shopper dress, which I'm pretty sure is 1959, but it's orange or red instead of blue. I feel like mine is kind of like a coral. It needs to be washed as well. But regardless, our doll, she's not too bad. She still has her toes painted as well as her fingernails. But here's one major thing. She has a rusty screw neck peg. So I do want to get rid of that. I did buy some plastic screws. I know that, well, I discovered later that you could just buy actual replacement neck pegs for vintage Barbies. But you know what? In this case, we're going to keep it a little authentic to the original owner. We will keep the screw neck peg, but we will do a plastic screw. So you can see here, I did buy some various sized plastic screws. We will see which one fits best, but I will have to make that little hole in the neck a tiny bit bigger. So I'm pulling out my Dremel and a mask for safety. And of course, I'm going to remove the dress so I don't get any remnants or dust flying on the dress. And we're going to start with the Dremel and just try to make that hole a little bigger so that way our plastic screw can fit, because the plastic one is a little bit thicker. So now that we went in with the Dremel, I think we've got enough room to put this plastic screw in. Great. Okay, so I think that looks good enough. Hopefully this will work. Let's go ahead. Let's start cleaning things. I've got my Blue Dawn dish soap. I've got a little bit of OxiClean and some warm water, some laundry detergent, color catchers. And this is my Fashion Queen swimsuit that I got, like, separately. This was actually the very first piece of any Fashion Queen Barbie anything that I owned. So this is what made me want to get the Fashion Queen doll. And I tried fixing up a hole that was happening at the leg, which seems to happen on all of these. Like, I was looking at other listings on eBay and like so many of them have like the same hole in the same spot. So I tried fixing that up, and then I just turned the entire thing inside out and I covered some edges with fray check so that way hopefully no more fraying will happen. But we will go ahead and we will wash this, even though it's really not that dirty. And then same with our busy morning dress. The white stripes have definitely darkened and sort of yellowed over time, so we will definitely clean that up. And then next, our doll right here, she's really not too dirty, but we will scrub her down and clean her up. Also, there's a few spots on her legs, but that's about it. And I'm just adding a little more warm water. And then for some reason, I decided to take out the limbs. I soaked her in like really hot water, and I don't really know why I did this. I thought I was maybe going to soak the limbs in some denture tablets to try to brighten them up a little bit, but they're really not that bad. So yeah, this is not necessary. And then our head, we need to clean up a little bit too. So I'll just let it soak in this OxiClean mixture for a little bit. And then I'm putting a color catcher in my laundry water, just so that way the color from the busy morning dress will hopefully not run or bleed. All right, so I did let the body soak for a little bit, but now it is time to go in and just clean it a little bit more. It does look like a lot of those spots, though, came off that were there from before, but I'm just taking a little rubbing alcohol and a cotton ball, and I'm just wiping down the leg, trying to put a little elbow grease into it, and we're just gonna go ahead and wipe down everything, the arms and the torso. And then I'm taking my nail buffer and I'm just trying to buff and polish the legs, trying to bring back a little shine to them. And then we're taking a Q-tip and a little bit of alcohol to try and clean off the face now. There were some spots on the face that I wasn't able to get off, and I could probably do an acne cream treatment, but these spots aren't bothering me enough, so I'm just gonna leave it how it is. Next, we finally have the wigs. So these I did order separately and they finally arrived and they look pretty good. There's a little remnants of green ear inside of some of these bubble cuts right here, but then we've got our brunette page boy, which is pretty messy. And our side part Titian wig right here, which I was surprised is pretty bald. I did not know that these were so bald. We're gonna go ahead and start cleaning these. I'm using my foaming facial cleanser. These wigs, I'm pretty sure they are Saran, but like very old Saran. So I'm just using this very gentle cleanser and then some hot water, not boiling hot water, but hot enough. And then we will just let these wigs soak for a little bit before I'll finally take them out and try to start doing an initial comb through, just removing any tangles that I can. And then once I was done soaking them in this cleanser, I didn't record it, but I did give them a nice condition with my conditioner and then rinsed out most of the conditioner. So now let's go ahead and start really working on the wigs. We'll start with the brunette page boy first. So more detangling and combing. And I'm trying to use my fingers to begin to shape these curls, even though I will go in later with my curling iron to really reshape some of the curls. But now that we've got most of the tangles out, I'm putting a little bit of my CeraVe moisturizer in the hair just to hydrate the hair. This hair is very, very coarse, and I'm hoping that this cream will help to soften the hair a little bit. And I only put in a little bit of the moisturizer, so I'm actually gonna leave it in the hair. If you do put a lot in, I would rinse it out, at least rinse out most of it. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and start trimming any strays or excess hair in places that I feel like it shouldn't be. All right, so now I've gone ahead and I sectioned off some of the hair, and this section right here really needs a little work. It needs some re-curling. So I'm using my mini curling iron and definitely starting on very low heat, and we're just trying to smooth out the hair a little bit first. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do most of the hair with this. Not all of the hair needs it, but it really was just that one section that was sort of bothering me. It was looking a little wild. And then I will let down another layer of hair, and we'll just try to start doing the same thing. Okay, so now something really bad happened. I went crazy with my curling iron. I was overly ambitious. The heat was way too high, and I did lose some hair. Yeah, this happened. So it's okay, we will fix this. We are going to do a partial reroot on this section where the hair came out. I already did go ahead and removed the plugs from the inside of the wig, and I've got this hair right here from Shimmer Locks. I think it is a close enough match. So let's go ahead and start putting it in. I'm taking my needle and thread, and I will do this little looping method. So I'm not using like your classic rerouting tool to do this. I am just taking my needle and my thread, and I'm looping the hair inside of the thread. Obviously, I tied a knot through the needle with my thread, and I'm pulling the hair through the thread. I hope that makes sense. And then I'm pulling the needle and the thread completely through so that way the hair comes in along with it. And then I will just go ahead and choose how long I want the hair to be. And then the hair on the inside of the scalp, like this, we're going to thread it back through the next hole. Just like this. I hope that makes sense. This is so hard for me to explain, and there's definitely tutorials out there on YouTube of doing this method of rerooting. I'm pretty sure that 1,000 Splendid Dolls has a tutorial doing it this way, and I'm pretty sure Poppin' Atelier also has one just like this too. I think they're both who I learned this method from. So we're going to keep doing that, and as I'm doing this, I'm also trying to thread the plugs through each other on the inside of the scalp, like weaving them through one another. I really don't know how to explain it, but it's like as I'm adding a new one, I'm going back through the loop of the old one from the inside of the wig. And yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna let you watch a little bit of this, and like I said, go watch 1,000 Splendid Dolls or Poppin' Atelier's tutorials, or the other tutorials that are probably out there that I just can't remember or think of right now. But this is how it's starting to look on the inside, so hopefully you get the idea of what I'm doing and how I'm trying to loop and latch the hair plugs through one another, so that way everything is nice and secure from the other side, and I won't need glue. Great, okay, so we are finally done. I think that is all the hair that I'm gonna add. I went a little thin. I was afraid of adding too much and it being too noticeable, since this is very new saran versus very old saran, and the color is not perfect, but it's close enough. Anyways, let's go ahead. Let's start curling this new saran, just so that way it'll hopefully lay and blend in a little better and not stick out and flare out too much up at the top where I added those plugs. And yes, of course, I did lower the heat. Never go over the number 140. If you buy this curling iron, just never go over 140. I feel like that is always where I start to notice hair melting, especially with saran. So anyways, let's trim the hair and try to get it to match the length of the rest of the hair. And we are taking the curling iron and just trying to recreate the shape that I want with these curls, just doing this in and under type of motion. We will continue to go layer by layer, trying to reshape some of these curls. And I will use my finger and my comb to get the end of the hair to curl under, like this, underneath around my pinky. And then we will just trim a little bit more in the front before I went ahead, and then I just took the wig off of her head and I put it on this styrofoam little ball as I was just trying to shape it. And I'm putting this curl lotion in the hair, hoping that it'll help to add a little shine back and give some hold to these curls. And I'm also using a lot of hairspray as well, and we're just trying to shape everything now. And there we go. I think it is starting to look good. I almost want it to not be able to move. I want everything to be like neat and in place and very hairsprayed. So let's move on to our Titian wig, and we're gonna do the same thing. We will just comb it out, try to begin to reshape some of the curls here. Right now I am adding more of that CeraVe cream, and once I'm done doing just like a quick initial comb through, a little bit of shaping the curls, I will rinse out the cream. So right now this is again just kind of like a deep conditioning treatment. Great, so now that everything is neat and combed through, I'll rinse out that CeraVe cream and then sort of let it dry for a little bit. And we'll go ahead and add some curl lotion to it. We will trim some stray hairs. So I'm just using, again, my finger and my comb to get these curls going upward. And then, of course, we will secure everything with some hairspray, continue to trim any other strays. And I apologize I didn't record it, but I finished working on this wig off camera. I will show you the final results in a little bit. I basically just kept doing what I am doing and adding more hairspray. But now it is time to begin our paint touch-up. So I apologize, a lot of this footage is ruined by the top of my head and the camera focusing on the top of my head instead of my doll. I'm new to recording footage like this, and I'm new to doing paint touch-ups, so I'm like getting very close in, looking very close at my doll, and I apologize that, yeah, all you can see is the top of my head, so I'm not going to show you all of this, but basically what I did is I just mixed together some paint, and I just tried to go over some spots on her face that needed some paint touch-ups, like the eyelids, the blue eyeshadow, a little bit of the eyebrows, and the lips. And then, of course, the sculpted hair does need a repaint too, so we will do that. We will save that for last. And my paint, I'm diluting it with a little bit of water. And as far as the lips go, I do want to let you know, like I said, I'm very new to doing paint touch-ups, so I'm not outlining the lips and I'm not going to the complete edge of the lip just because I don't trust myself with being able to make a perfectly clean line. So I'm just staying within the lines that are already existing with her lip. I hope that makes sense. Her lips just won't look super full, and you'll still be able to see the original kind of chipped lip paint, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. She's a doll from 1963. She doesn't need to look brand new. But now we'll go in and we will try to fix up her sculpted hair with a little more paint. And I'll do a couple layers with that. And then we will seal everything, the sculpted hair and the face touch-ups, with some clear gloss. It is also diluted with a little bit of water. And then I'm also going to go ahead and try to touch up her toenails because they did fade as I was cleaning her. I think maybe someone repainted them. I'm not too sure. Her fingernails, though, look pretty good, so I'm going to leave those alone. So now I'm trying to make a little stand for her wig. So if you've seen, the original Fashion Queen doll does come with this wig stand, and I'm just taking some styrofoam, I'm taking some foam board, and then some foam balls and little wooden dowels, and I'm just using hot glue to piece this all together. I'm not doing a totally in-depth tutorial on this because I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of winging this, but hopefully you get the idea. I just cut the wooden dowels at an angle so that way they stick out like this, sort of how the original one would have. And then you could probably paint this if you want to, like paint it all white, but I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, so now we're basically done. Let's try everything on. We can see our toenails have dried. Our Titian wig, here it finally is, all finished. And let's go ahead. We will put on the busy morning dress first. and I think it looks good. We can see the whites have definitely brightened up, and I think the like orange or red part still looks pretty vibrant. It doesn't look too faded. The brunette page boy looks pretty neat, so let's try that on first. And I'm like struggling to put these wigs on, but here we go. This is our page boy. I think it looks pretty cute. Oh my gosh, I'm also remembering the YouTube channel Rod's Dolls. He has an amazing video with his Fashion Queen Barbie, and like that video also inspired me when I was restoring mine. So thank you, Rod, for sharing that video. And you should all go check it out. Okay, so you get the idea. That is the brunette page boy. We will put it on our wig stand, and we will move on to our Tishan side part right here. And again, I'm like freaking out as I'm putting these wigs on because I'm afraid I'm going to like mess them up again. I'm like trying to position it without ruining it. It's very tricky, but okay, you get the idea. I like this one though. I think this one is my favorite of the three. So we'll put that one off to the side on the wig stand. And then lastly, we've got our two bubble cuts. I don't know which one I like best, but let's start with this one right here. This one looks really nice and curly. So we'll try to put this on. And I think it looks cute. I actually think she looks really good as a blonde. I usually prefer longer hair with the dolls, but I actually think that this is a very cute look for her. All right, but now I do want to show you, I do have the Busy Morning little basket purse, and I think it's supposed to have like fruit inside of it, but of course that's all missing. This purse looks a little rough. We might have to touch it up, and the hat, of course, is really rough. I will have to figure out a way to fix up this hat at some point in the future. Now, next, I did go on eBay, and I looked up some vintage Barbie shoes, and I found these cheap clone shoes. And I was hoping that they would work and that they would be good, but they're pretty cheap. They're pretty knockoffy. We've got these red ones right here, and they're kind of cute, but they're a little small, and maybe that's how the original Barbie ones would have been, but let's try these white ones right here. Yeah, there we go. You know, I think it's fine. It's good enough. I should invest in some actual Mattel Barbie pumps, but it's okay. We'll do it some point in the future. Let's put this bubble cut wig on the stand, and that is our Busy Morning look. Now let's put on her final official outfit, her swimsuit, which cleaned up pretty well. Unfortunately, I did lose the marking on the inside. Yeah, but you know what? It's okay. These are not rare. I could buy a new one if I really wanted to. You can get them for like $30 on eBay, but I'm fine with it. It's okay. All right, so let's put the shoes back on. And that is essentially it. Okay, so that is it for our 1963 Fashion Queen. As you can see, I did find her turban. I did go through two of these, actually. The first one I used, it was a little dirty and sort of stained, so I tried to whiten it using OxyClean, and I accidentally used the whitening OxyClean. I meant to just use the normal OxyClean, which is what I used on her outfit, and you know, I think her outfit came out pretty decent, but yeah, I used the whitening OxyClean, and on top of that, I probably used too much of it and too hot of water, and it totally faded all of the metallic. It was just very flat, not metallic anymore. I'll show you. I will show you. So here we go. I did try fixing it. You can see where like the stripes are really dark, and then you can see where the stripes are very faded. I tried using one of those metallic markers, and it's not really, it's not looking super cute, and the color is still off. It's like too dark of a bronze. I mean, it's kind of close, but I decided, you know what? Let me just get another one so that way it is at least as close to original as possible. And then this one, I don't know. Hopefully I can fix it. But lesson learned, don't use OxyClean on these metallic materials because it can really ruin that. And the same thing happened with my Selena back here. I did this, I think, before I did the Selena, or I don't know which happened first, but it hadn't clicked yet for me that it was OxyClean, I'm pretty sure, is what ruined the metallic thread in here and the metallic thread in her. So anyways, lesson learned. But yeah, long story short, we got a new one, and I think it looks good. I tried cleaning this. I just used some normal, gentle laundry detergent and a little bit of Blue Dawn dish soap and some warm water. Nothing crazy. But that is her. So yes, we did her face. We touched up her hair. I bought these cheap clone shoes, and one of them has already broke. That's okay. We cleaned this dress. Like this dress, the OxyClean wasn't too bad. It definitely helped to brighten and whiten the white spots on that, but again, I didn't use the whitening OxyClean. And then hopefully someday in the future I can fix up the hat and the purse for the Suburban Shopper. No, I don't remember what the name of this one is called. It's the variant. And then the wigs, which I'm like afraid to touch these because I don't want to mess them up, but I'm happy with them. I think they came out really cute, and now I just need to find a good way to display my Fashion Queen. But I hope you enjoyed this little restoration. Definitely let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you have any tips or suggestions for me. I would really appreciate it. And again, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all next time. Bye.